The order came without warning. Private Emma Carter stood at the edge of the parade ground, a duffel bag resting against her boots, while dozens of soldiers pretended not to watch. The commanding officer's voice was cold as he told her she was no longer needed on the base. Months of loyal service ended with a single sentence. Emma nodded without arguing, but behind her calm expression, her heart quietly shattered. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. A chilly wind swept across the empty runway as whispers spread through the ranks. Some believed Emma had made a terrible mistake. Others assumed she had simply failed. No one knew the truth. She picked up her bag, each step feeling heavier than the last. She thought she would leave through the front gate unnoticed. She was wrong. Emma had always been the first to volunteer for difficult assignments and the last to ask for recognition. Years earlier, during a humanitarian mission in the mountains, she had ignored her own injuries to rescue trapped civilians beneath collapsing buildings. She never spoke about that day because, to her, doing the right thing never deserved applause. But kindness often hides in silence. As she reached the end of the runway, a distant sound interrupted the uneasy quiet. At first it was nothing more than a faint vibration carried by the wind. Then the unmistakable rhythm of helicopter blades echoed across the valley. Heads turned. Conversations stopped. Dust danced across the concrete as the aircraft appeared over the horizon. No one had been expecting a helicopter. The aircraft descended slowly, its powerful rotors sending waves of air across the base. Soldiers shielded their faces while officers exchanged confused glances. Even the commander who had dismissed Emma looked uncertain. The helicopter wasn't stopping near headquarters. It was landing directly in front of her. The engine settled into a deep growl before the cabin door swung open. A decorated general stepped onto the runway, his uniform marked with ribbons earned over decades of service. Every soldier instinctively stood straighter. Without acknowledging anyone else, the general walked toward Emma. The silence became almost unbearable. He stopped only a few feet away and offered her a crisp salute. "You don't remember me," he said softly. "But 5 years ago, you carried me out of a burning village after an explosion. You refused a medal because you said saving lives was simply your duty." Emma's eyes widened. The memories rushed back like a flood she had tried to forget. The general turned toward the assembled officers. "This soldier was never meant to be dismissed," he declared. "She was selected for one of the most confidential humanitarian leadership units in the country. We kept her identity classified until today." Gasps rippled through the crowd. The commander who had ordered her departure suddenly understood. The dismissal had been part of a classified transfer designed to protect the mission, but no one had explained the reason to the base personnel. Even Emma herself had been kept unaware until the final moment. For an instant, everyone questioned whether the pain she had endured had been fair. Could secrecy ever justify letting an honorable soldier believe she had been abandoned? The answer wasn't simple. Yet the general stepped closer and handed Emma a folded insignia bearing the emblem of the Elite Rescue Command. "You've spent your career carrying others," he said. "Today, it's our turn to carry you." A wave of applause broke through the silence. Soldiers who had remained quiet only moments earlier now stood clapping with genuine respect. Some wiped tears from their eyes. Others saluted with pride. Emma's trembling hands accepted the insignia, not because it represented rank, but because it reminded her that unseen sacrifices are never truly forgotten. As she boarded the helicopter, the rising wind scattered the dust around the runway once more. Only this time, it no longer felt like the end of a journey. It felt like the beginning of one. Because true honor doesn't seek attention. It quietly earns the respect that time can never erase. And as the helicopter disappeared beyond the clouds, the same sky that had witnessed her silent heartbreak now carried her toward a future she had never dared imagine. If this story touched your heart, share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more inspiring stories of courage and hope. And remember, sometimes the greatest recognition arrives only after the hardest goodbye.